Imagine walking into your home after a long day, expecting peace and comfort, but instead feeling a strange heaviness in the air. What are some of the things you keep around you are quietly stealing your calm? What if they're tying you to worries, sadness, or old problems? Many people do not realize that our homes carry energies, not just from us, but from the things we choose to keep. What if you could change that by simply letting go of a few items? Have you ever noticed how certain objects in your house bring you stress, even if they seem harmless? Have you felt uneasy near something but could not explain why? Could your home be filled with hidden blocks to your happiness? These are questions worth thinking about because your living space affects your mind and heart more than you might believe. Think about a dusty old photo that reminds you of a painful memory or a broken clock that never ticks. You keep them because of habit or respect, but they might be holding you back from feeling free. One small thing like this can create an invisible weight. What would happen if you freed yourself from that burden? Imagine the lightness you might feel. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. This channel is here to guide you gently with insights from Buddhist teachings and simple ways to create harmony in your home and life. If you find value in what you hear, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more wisdom to everyone. And please, drop down your thoughts in the comments. Sharing your experience can help others too. To keep our minds calm and positive, write Namo Buddha in the comments as a reminder to stay grounded until the video ends. Now let's begin understanding why some things do not belong in your home. Not just physically, but energetically and emotionally. According to Buddhism, everything we keep affects our mind. When we hold on to objects with heavy memories or bad feelings, we carry that weight inside us. Our home should be a place of peace, but often it becomes a place where old pain lives. In the coming minutes, you will learn how to identify these hidden burdens and gently release them. This is not about throwing away everything, but about understanding what truly serves your peace and what quietly harms it. Every item in your home has a story and an energy. When that story is one of suffering, it's time to let it go. As you listen, ask yourself, what in my home is keeping me stuck? What can I remove to create more space for calm and happiness? Your journey to a lighter home and a clearer mind starts here. Listen carefully. The things we hold close, the objects in our home, they often carry stories of attachment. Attachment is the root of much suffering. When we cling tightly to objects, we bind ourselves to the past, to memories that may no longer serve us. It is like carrying a heavy sack on your back, but not realizing how much it weighs until you try to walk freely. In Buddhist teaching, attachment is a form of craving. We desire to keep what we believe will make us happy or keep us safe. Yet, often, these things are just shadows of happiness, not happiness itself. Imagine holding onto a beautiful but broken vase. It may look pleasing from afar, but it leaks, it cannot hold water. Holding onto it does not bring joy, only trouble and mess. Many homes are full of such broken vases. Old clothes you no longer wear, gifts you never liked but felt obliged to keep, trinkets from travels that now gather dust. We keep them because of habit, or guilt, or fear that letting go will mean losing part of ourselves. But what we lose is often a weight we didn't even know was there. Look deeply at your own home. What items do you find yourself avoiding or dusting reluctantly? What things do you keep only because they remind you of someone or something you cannot forget? These attachments keep your heart tied to old stories, stories that may cause sadness, anger, or confusion. In the quiet of your mind, ask, are these objects helping me live fully in this moment? Or are they pulling me back into what has already passed? A wise person knows that clinging to things that no longer serve us is like holding on to ashes instead of fire. The fire may warm us once, but ashes only weigh us down. When we allow ourselves to let go, even just a little, a great freedom arises. The mind becomes lighter. Space opens up, not just in the room, but inside you. This space is where peace grows. It is a quiet place, free from the noise of craving and fear. Do not think that releasing attachment means becoming cold or indifferent. It means being kind to yourself. It means recognizing what truly nourishes your spirit and what merely distracts it. It means creating a home that supports calm, not chaos. In Buddhist practice, there's a teaching about impermanence. Everything changes, nothing lasts forever. Your possessions are no different. They come into your life for a time, then they leave. Trying to hold them forever is like trying to catch the wind with your hands. You only end up frustrated. Imagine your home as a garden. If you keep planting seeds of attachment, weeds grow and choke the flowers. But if you let go, if you clear the old weeds, new flowers can bloom. Your mind becomes a garden of peace, and your home reflects that peace. Attachment also brings fear. Fear of loss, fear of change. We worry, what if I throw this away and regret it later? Or what if this object holds some hidden value? But ask yourself, is fear your true friend? Or is it a shadow that blocks your path to happiness? When the mind is free from attachment, it becomes like water, clear, calm, and flowing. It does not cling to the shape of the container it is in. Your home, then, can be like that water, welcoming, peaceful, and alive. Begin with small steps. Look at one object today. Feel what it stirs in your heart. Does it bring you joy? Or does it bring discomfort? Be honest with yourself. There's no need for harshness, only gentle awareness. When you find things that bring discomfort, consider giving them away, recycling them, or letting them go in some way. You are not losing anything important. You are creating space for something better, space for peace. In this way, your home becomes a reflection of your mind. When you clear your home of attachments, your mind clears too. You can then live more fully in the present moment, free from the chains of the past. Remember, the goal is not to own nothing, but to own wisely. To have what serves you, what brings lightness and peace, rather than burden and sorrow. Let go of the weight of attachment, and you will find the wings to rise above your worries. Your home will become a sanctuary, a place where your spirit can rest and grow. This path is not always easy. Old habits are strong, and memories are powerful. But the first step is simply to notice, to see what you hold on to and why, to ask yourself if it is time to release. As you practice this, you will discover a new way of living, not one of denial, but of freedom. A home filled not with clutter, but with meaning. A mind that is calm, clear, and full of light. In this journey, be patient with yourself. Change takes time, but every small step toward letting go is a step toward peace. Remember, the objects around you are not you. They do not define your worth or your happiness. You are more than the things you own. Your true home is inside you, is the calm place in your heart, the stillness beneath your thoughts. As you clear your outer home, you make room to connect more deeply with this inner home. And from that place, peace flows outward like a gentle river. This is the way of letting go, the way of wisdom, the path that leads to freedom. Take your time, move gently, and know that with each thing you release, you invite more peace into your life. Look deeply into your home. What do you see? Not just with your eyes, but with your heart. Many things you keep are not just things. They carry stories, emotions, and even old pain. In Buddhism, we learn that everything is connected. What surrounds you shapes what is inside you. So, the things you hold on to, what do they really say about your mind? Sometimes, we keep objects that remind us of suffering. Maybe it is an old gift from a person who caused you hurt, or a photo that brings back sadness. Perhaps it is something broken, lying quietly in the corner, forgotten but still weighing on your spirit. These things hold energy, energy that can disturb your peace without you even knowing it. Imagine carrying a bag full of heavy stones all day. At first, you might not notice the weight, but over time, your shoulders ache, your steps slow, and your breath becomes shallow. The same happens with the things you keep around you that remind you of pain or hardship. You carry their weight in your heart, even if you don't realize it. The Buddha taught us about suffering and the causes of suffering. He showed that clinging to things, whether they are people, feelings, or objects, can keep us trapped in cycles of pain. When you keep objects connected to suffering, you give them power to affect your mind again and again. Your home becomes a place where old wounds stay open. But what if you could see these things differently? Not as just belongings, but as reflections of your inner world. If you feel uneasy near a particular object, maybe it is because it holds sorrow or anger that you are still carrying. This is not a fault or failure. It is simply a sign that it is time to look deeper. In Zen, we practice letting go. This does not mean forgetting or denying your past. It means recognizing what no longer serves you and gently releasing it. When you let go of objects tied to suffering, you begin to lighten the load inside. You make space for calmness, clarity, and even joy. This process is like cleaning a dusty mirror. When the dust is thick, you cannot see your own face clearly. But when the dust is wiped away, your reflection appears bright and true. Your home is that mirror. When you remove the heavy energy held in objects, you allow your mind to reflect peace. Many people fear letting go because they think it means losing memories or disrespecting the past. But holding on to suffering is not honoring your past. It is holding on to chains that bind you. True respect comes from seeing your past with kindness and learning from it, not from carrying its pain inside your living space. Look around you now. Is there something that stirs discomfort or sadness? It might be time to thank it for the lessons it gave and gently place it aside or let it go completely. You do not have to do this all at once. Small steps are enough. Even moving one item that carries pain out of your home can bring a new sense of lightness. The Buddha said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Your home can be the ground where this peace grows. But peace cannot grow well in soil filled with sorrow or anger. It needs clear space, fresh air, and sunlight. By clearing out objects tied to suffering, you prepare the soil for peace. When you clear this space, notice how your mind responds. You may find that thoughts become softer, your breathing deeper, your heart more open. You might feel more connected to the present moment instead of being pulled back into old stories. This is the power of mindful living. Mindfulness teaches us to be aware of what we hold, both outside and inside. It invites us to examine the objects in our homes, not just as things, but as parts of our inner journey. You might be surprised to discover how much of your mental burden is connected to what you keep. Old letters, gifts, photographs, clothes, broken items, they all carry a history. Some histories bring joy, but some bring suffering. Choose carefully what you keep. In Buddhism, the teaching of impermanence reminds us that nothing lasts forever. Everything changes. Holding on to things that represent suffering is like trying to hold water in your hands. It slips away, and the struggle itself causes pain. Instead, embrace the practice of release. Letting go is not loss. It is freedom. It is opening your home and your heart to what is fresh and new. It is making room for happiness that arises naturally when the past no longer weighs you down. As you practice this, be patient with yourself. The mind clings because it fears emptiness. But emptiness is not nothingness. It is the space where peace and happiness can grow. It is the openness to life as it is. Remember, your home is a reflection of your mind. When your home feels heavy with suffering, so too will your heart. When you clear out those things, you invite healing and lightness. Begin with kindness. Gently observe what you hold. Ask yourself, does this item bring peace or pain? Does it support my well-being or disturb it? This simple question can be the beginning of deep transformation. Your path to peace starts with awareness. From awareness comes choice. From choice comes freedom. The objects in your home can become tools for peace, or they can become chains. The choice is yours. Trust that as you release, you are not losing anything important. You are making space for your true self, free, peaceful, and whole. The journey is yours to take, one mindful step at a time. Imagine the mind as a clear pond. When the water is still and free from leaves, mud, and debris, you can see your own reflection clearly. But what happens when the pond is filled with clutter, fallen branches, leaves, mud stirred up from the bottom? The water becomes murky. Your reflection becomes unclear, distorted, and you struggle to see what is real beneath the surface. Our homes are like that pond. When filled with too many things, they cloud the space around us, and likewise they cloud our minds. We often fill our homes with things without thinking. Gifts we never use, papers we never read, clothes we no longer wear. Slowly, these things pile up, and with them, confusion and distraction pile up in our minds too. Why do we hold on to so many things? Sometimes it is fear. Fear of losing memories, fear of change, fear of emptiness. But from a Buddhist point of view, clinging only leads to suffering. When we cling to things, we cling to illusions of permanence. Yet everything is impermanent. The clothes will wear out. The gifts will gather dust. The memories tied to these objects change and fade. To truly find peace, we must learn to let go, not just of emotions or thoughts, but of the clutter that surrounds us. A simple home reflects a simple mind. When the environment is clear, the mind becomes clear. When a mind is clear, we see the world as it truly is, without the fog of distraction. There's a story from Zen tradition about a young monk who came to his master, troubled by a restless mind. The master asked him to clean the temple's garden. At first, the monk only pulled out the obvious weeds, but the garden still felt messy. The master said, "Do not stop until the garden feels empty, until only what must be remains." The monk worked day and night, removing every unnecessary leaf and stone. After days of effort, the garden looked simple, peaceful, empty, but alive. The monk's mind was the same. By clearing away what was not needed, his thoughts became peaceful and still. Similarly, clutter is not only physical, it is mental. When your home is full, your mind is full. When your home is simple, your mind has space to breathe, to rest. Clutter creates noise. Noise drowns out the quiet voice of wisdom within. When you clear clutter, you invite silence. And in silence, you find clarity. You might ask, but what about memories? What about things I might need someday? These are important questions. But remember, memory lives in your heart, not in a box. If an object truly holds a memory, it can bring peace. But if it causes pain or confusion, it is better to let it go. You can honor the memory without holding on to the thing. Consider this. Every item you keep needs attention. It demands space, energy, and time. When you reduce what you own, you free your energy for what truly matters: your health, your relationships, your inner peace. The Buddha taught the middle way, a path of balance. Not too much, not too little. In your home, the middle way means keeping what is useful and beautiful and letting go of what is unnecessary. This creates balance in your life and mind. A home free of clutter becomes a sanctuary. It becomes a place where you can sit quietly, breathe deeply, and meet yourself with kindness. It is easier to practice mindfulness when your surroundings are calm and clear. The simple environment helps the mind settle, just like a calm lake reflects the sky. When you begin to remove clutter, you may face resistance. Old habits and attachments are strong. The mind may try to fill the space you create with new things. Be patient with yourself. Like training the mind, clearing clutter is a gentle process, not a sudden event. Start with small steps. A drawer here, a shelf there. Notice how each act of clearing is an act of freedom. Notice how lightness arises when unnecessary things leave your space. This lightness is more than physical, is spiritual, is the opening of the heart. When you simplify your home, you also simplify your choices. You spend less time cleaning and organizing. You have more time to enjoy the present moment. You find joy in small things, like sunlight through a window or the smell of fresh air. These simple joys are easily missed in a cluttered life. Buddhism teaches that true happiness is found within, not in possessions. Yet, our possessions reflect our inner state. When you free your home from clutter, you free your mind from confusion. Your thoughts become clearer. Your heart feels lighter. Imagine waking each day in a peaceful home. Imagine walking through rooms where every object has meaning and purpose. Imagine the calm that fills your mind when your space is simple and clear. This is not just about tidying. It is about creating a space that supports your well-being and spiritual growth. Let go of what no longer serves you. Make space for what nourishes your soul. This practice of simplicity is a step on the path to awakening. It helps you see what is essential, what truly matters. In this way, your home becomes more than a place to live. It becomes a mirror of your mind. When your home is clear, your mind is clear. When your mind is clear, you live with more peace, joy, and wisdom. The journey to simplicity is a journey inward. Each item you release is a small victory over attachment. Each empty corner is a place for your spirit to rest. Every cleared surface invites stillness. Remember, the path is not about perfection. It is about awareness. Be mindful of what you bring into your home. Be mindful of what you keep. And be kind to yourself as you create space for peace. Simplicity is sacred because it reflects the natural order of life. Like the seasons, everything flows, changes, and renews. When you live with less clutter, you live more in harmony with this flow. So embrace simplicity. Clear your home and clear your mind. Let the stillness of your space invite stillness into your heart. Let your home be a place where peace grows naturally, like a quiet garden tended with care. Imagine, for a moment, a broken cup. It sits quietly on a shelf, chipped and cracked, unable to hold water as it once did. Yet it remains there, untouched, gathering dust. The cup, once whole, now imperfect, it reminds us, in its silent way, of impermanence, the truth that nothing in this world lasts forever. This broken cup is like many things we keep in our homes, things that no longer serve us, but linger because we are afraid to let go. In Buddhism, the idea of impermanence is central. Everything changes, everything fades. The beauty of a flower lasts only a short time. The smile of a loved one may fade, and even the walls of a home will wear down with time. When we hold on to broken things, whether they are objects, memories, or feelings, we resist this natural flow. We build resistance against the way life is, and in doing so, we invite suffering. Look around your home. Are there objects you keep because you think one day they might be fixed, or because they remind you of better times? These broken things carry energy of past hopes and disappointments. They whisper stories of what once was, but are no longer. Keeping them is like carrying stones in a backpack on a long journey. The weight slows you down. It makes the path harder to walk. The broken things in our homes are more than just physical objects. They are symbols of unfinished stories. They are reminders of loss and change. When you allow these items to stay, you invite their energy into your daily life. This energy can cloud your mind. It can make it harder to feel calm, to feel joy. The Zen mind sees clearly. It knows that holding on to what is broken only brings more brokenness. When we see this clearly, we begin to understand the power of letting go. Letting go is not easy. It takes courage to face the truth that some things are no longer useful. It takes humility to admit that we cannot fix everything. But in Buddhism, there is great peace in acceptance. To accept impermanence is to live lightly. When you remove broken things from your home, you make space. Space for new energy, new beginnings. Space for healing and for growth. Imagine that broken cup again. When you place it aside, you free your shelf to hold something new. When you free your mind from the weight of broken things, you open your heart to new possibilities. Some may say, but I'm holding on to these things because they have memories. And it is true. Memories are precious, but memories do not live inside objects. They live inside you. You do not need a cracked vase to remember a special moment. You do not need a broken chair to hold the memory of a loved one. In Buddhism, we practice mindfulness, the art of being present in this moment. When you look at broken things with mindful eyes, you see them clearly, without the fog of attachment. You see their impermanence and their story. You see how holding on to them may cause more pain than peace. Consider the story of a Zen monk who lived simply, owning almost nothing. When asked why, he said, "A cluttered home is a cluttered mind." His home was free of broken things and useless items. His mind was clear and calm. He could welcome each moment without burden. Broken things also teach us compassion, compassion for ourselves. We all carry brokenness inside. We all have parts of our lives that feel cracked or damaged. When we gently remove broken things from our homes, we practice kindness to ourselves. We say, it is okay to let go. It is okay to heal. Sometimes broken things stay because we fear loss. But loss is part of life. Just as the seasons change, so must we. Clinging to broken things is like trying to stop the wind. It is futile and painful. Try this. Walk through your home slowly. Notice the things that are cracked, chipped, or worn out. Feel their energy. Do they bring peace? Or do they remind you of pain? If they do not bring peace, consider placing them aside with gratitude for their past service. You do not have to throw them away immediately. You can choose to give them away, recycle them, or let nature take them back. The act of releasing is more important than the object itself. It is a practice in freedom. In the quiet space that follows, you may notice something new, a lightness, a calmness. Your home breathes more freely. Your mind becomes clearer. This is the gift of embracing impermanence and letting go of broken things. Remember, nothing is wasted in nature. Even a broken cup returns to the earth and becomes part of a new cycle. So too, our attachments must return to the flow of life. When your home reflects this truth, you live more fully in the present. You honor the beauty of what is here and now, rather than what once was. This is the path to peace. In this way, the simple act of clearing broken things is also a spiritual practice. It is a step toward understanding yourself and the world more deeply. It is a gentle unfolding of wisdom. May you find courage in this practice. May you discover the peace that comes from living lightly. The journey is yours to walk, one step, one breath at a time. Imagine a quiet room filled with things given to you by others. Gifts, souvenirs, hand-me-downs. At first, these objects seem to bring joy or kindness. They carry the warmth of someone's thoughtfulness. Yet, over time, some of these gifts begin to feel heavy, as if the energy they carry is no longer light and easy. In the teaching of the Buddha, everything is connected with energy and intention. When we receive a gift, it is not just the object we accept, but also the feelings, hopes, and sometimes even burdens that come with it. Some gifts hold love and kindness, but others can carry silent shadows of expectation, obligation, or past pain. Many people keep things out of sense of duty. A vase given by a relative long gone, a piece of clothing that no longer fits, a book you never read but cannot throw away. These items create a space inside your home, but also inside your mind, where you feel trapped. The home, which should be a sanctuary, slowly becomes a museum of old stories, some beautiful, some painful, and some simply unfinished. Consider the Buddhist teaching of letting go. This is not about disrespect or forgetting those who gave these gifts. It is about understanding the impermanence of all things. Objects like feelings and moments come and go. Holding tightly to them can create suffering, just as grasping on anger or regret can. When you keep things that no longer serve you, you hold on to the past relationships, past expectations, past moments that have already passed. Your home becomes a place where the past lives loudly, making it hard for the present to breathe freely. The Buddha taught that attachment leads to suffering. This is true not only for people, but also for the things we keep. The question arises, how do we honor the kindness behind a gift without being weighed down by it? The answer is simple, yet profound. We can be grateful for the thought, the moment, the feeling that the gift represents, and then gently release the object itself if it no longer brings peace. Imagine a small bird sitting on your windowsill. You offer it some crumbs, and it eats happily. But if you try to hold the bird tightly, you will struggle and suffer. In the same way, holding on to gifts that cause silent suffering is like gripping the bird too hard. The bird is not yours to keep forever. It is meant to come and go. Your home should be like that window, open, inviting, a place where energy flows freely. Objects that bind you with invisible chains do not belong here. They are heavy stones on your path to peace. Sometimes, gifts are given with the hope that you will remember someone or keep a connection alive. This is beautiful in intention, but the Buddha reminds us that true connection is beyond objects. True connection lives in the heart and mind, in kindness, compassion, and presence. Look around your home with gentle eyes. See which objects make you smile with warmth, and which ones make you feel tight or restless. This is your intuition speaking, the wisdom of your inner self guiding you toward freedom. It is okay to let go. It is okay to say thank you silently to the energy behind the gift, and then release the object without guilt or fear. When you do this, you are not losing memory or love. You are creating space for new moments, new peace, and new happiness. Imagine now carrying a heavy backpack full of stones. Each stone is a gift kept out of obligation or fear. How much easier would your walk be if you set down some stones? Your journey through life would be lighter, your breath freer, your mind calmer. When you release an object, imagine it like a leaf falling from a tree. The leaf does not resist falling. It trusts the natural flow of life. You too can trust this flow. The Buddha taught that all things are impermanent, and by accepting this truth, suffering begins to ease. Not every gift needs to be kept forever. Some can be passed on, given to others who need them more, or simply returned to the earth through recycling or donation. This act of release is also an act of generosity, a letting go for the benefit of all. Remember that your home is not a warehouse of things. It is a temple of your peace. It should reflect your mind's calmness, not your worries. When objects hold you back, they become obstacles to your peace. This teaching is not about rejecting kindness or love, but about understanding the nature of attachment. To hold onto everything tightly is to invite suffering. To hold gently, with wisdom and compassion, is to invite freedom. As you move through your home in silence and stillness, imagine the space you can create. Space not just for new things, but space for your own breathing, your own quiet moments, your own clarity. The Buddha's path is one of balance. We do not need to live without possessions, but we must learn the art of mindful keeping. Mindful keeping means holding only what nourishes your heart and mind, not what burdens them. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for yourself and others is to say no to clutter of the heart and home. Say no to gifts that bring silent chains, and say yes to lightness and peace. The energy of a home that is free from unwanted burdens flows like a gentle stream. It nourishes all who enter and stays calm, even in storms. This is the energy you deserve in your life. So, when next you look at a gift that feels heavy, ask yourself, does this bring me peace? Does it help me walk my path lightly? If the answer is no, then it is time to let go. Your heart will thank you. Your mind will smile. And your home will become a sanctuary once more, a place where joy and peace grow like flowers in the sun. You may not realize it, but the images and statues you keep in your home hold a powerful presence. They're not just decorations or symbols. They carry energy that can influence your mind in quiet, unseen ways. When you choose to keep certain statues or pictures, you invite their spirit into your space. This is a truth understood deeply in the practice of Zen and Buddhist teachings. Some statues represent peace, compassion, and wisdom. They remind us of the qualities we seek to nurture within ourselves. But others, even if beautiful or traditional, can hold shadow. They may represent struggle, fear, or sorrow. Without meaning to, you might be inviting tension into your home. Imagine a statue of a fierce warrior or a picture that shows suffering. At first glance, they might seem like reminders of strength or history. Yet, in your quiet moments, these images can stir feelings of unrest, worry, or even fear. It is like carrying a small weight in your heart every time you see them. This weight is subtle but persistent. Our homes should be places of refuge, a space where the mind rests and the heart feels calm. When you bring objects into your home that reflect inner conflict, they create barriers to peace. They whisper stories of pain that the mind may not always recognize, but the body feels deeply. You may ask, what if these images are part of my culture or family tradition? This is a good question. Buddhist wisdom does not ask you to abandon your history or your memories. Instead, it teaches you to see clearly and choose with care. It invites you to ask yourself whether these objects help you grow or whether they keep you trapped in old feelings. In Zen, we say the environment is an extension of the mind. If your surroundings are cluttered with images that carry heavy emotions, your mind may reflect that heaviness. On the other hand, if your home is filled with objects that inspire calm, joy, and mindfulness, your mind will find rest more easily. Think about a flower garden. If you plant thorny bushes among the soft blossoms, the garden no longer feels gentle or inviting. The thorns might protect, but they also hurt. Your mind is much like that garden. What you choose to keep shapes the experience of your inner space. Many people keep statues or pictures out of respect or habit, without realizing their effect. Sometimes these objects are gifts passed down through generations. They may carry stories that are important, yet those stories might include pain or conflict that is no longer yours to carry. When you look closely, you may notice that certain images make you feel uneasy. Perhaps a statue's eyes seem too sharp, or a picture shows sadness that lingers too long. These feelings are your inner wisdom speaking. It is gentle, yet clear. Something in this object does not belong in your sanctuary. Buddhist practice encourages us to be mindful of what we surround ourselves with. Mindfulness is not just about sitting quietly. It is about noticing what you bring into your life. It is about choosing things that uplift your spirit and releasing those that weigh it down. This is not about being afraid of images or disrespecting tradition. It is about creating a space where your heart can breathe freely. A place where peace is not just a wish, but a daily experience. When you let go of objects that carry heavy energy, you make room for fresh, gentle light to enter. You might wonder how to begin this process. Start by simply observing your home with quiet attention. Walk through each room slowly. Notice the feelings that arise when you look at your statues or pictures. Do they bring warmth, or do they make you tense? Do they remind you of hope, or do they stir old fears? There is no rush to decide or remove. The path of wisdom is gentle. Allow yourself time to feel and understand. When you are ready, thank the objects for the lessons they have taught, and kindly let them go if they no longer serve you. Remember, letting go is not losing. It is making space for something better. It is like clearing clouds to see the sky again. When you release the weight of heavy images, your mind finds greater clarity. Your heart feels lighter. Some who practice Zen keep only one simple image or statue in their home, a symbol of calm or enlightenment. This singular focus helps keep the mind centered. The fewer distractions, the deeper the peace. You might choose a small Buddhist statue, a simple painting of nature, or nothing at all. The absence of objects can also be powerful. It is an invitation to rest in the present moment, free from stories and distractions. As you cultivate this simplicity, notice how your daily life changes. Your thoughts become clearer, your emotions softer. The energy in your home shifts from heavy to light, from restless to calm. This transformation is subtle but profound. It is not the object itself that holds power, but the meaning and energy you give it. When you keep something that carries old pain, you carry that pain too. When you clear it away, you free yourself. This freedom is at the heart of Buddhist teaching. It reminds us that we do not have to be prisoners of the past or our surroundings. We can choose peace. We can create a home that supports our deepest well-being. So, take this moment to reflect. What images and statues are in your home? What stories do they tell? Do they help you grow, or do they hold you back? The answers may surprise you. In your quiet moments, allow yourself to feel what is true. Trust your heart's wisdom. When the time feels right, begin gently removing what no longer serves. You do not need to rush or judge yourself. This is a path of kindness and awareness. As the Zen master, I invite you to see your home as a sacred space, a place for healing and rest. The objects you choose to keep are part of that healing. Choose wisely, and your home will become a mirror of your inner peace. In this way, your environment becomes a teacher. It reflects your state of mind and gently guides you toward freedom. Let your home be a place where light and calm grow with each passing day. The practice of letting go is not always easy. Attachments run deep and stories hold strong. But with patience and compassion, you can clear away what burdens you. When you do, you create a foundation for joy and clarity. Your home and your heart will thank you. Hidden corners. What you forget still affects you. Let me tell you something simple, yet quietly powerful. What we do not see still shapes our lives. What we forget in the corners of our homes still speaks to us. The dust, the boxes, the untouched drawers, the bags behind doors, they all carry energy. And this energy does not go away just because we stop noticing it. In Buddhism, the mind and the environment are not separate. They reflect one another. A cluttered space often means a cluttered heart. A forgotten item doesn't stay silent. It whispers quietly into your daily emotions. But you may be too busy to hear it. You may not realize that these hidden corners are like cobwebs in your spirit. Have you ever opened an old drawer and suddenly felt overwhelmed by memories, by sadness, or by a strange feeling you couldn't name? That's not an accident. Objects that are pushed away, avoided, or neglected carry unresolved energy. Energy that you once gave to them, through emotion, through attachment, and that energy remains there. Let's look deeper. Maybe there's a shelf in your house you haven't touched in years. It's filled with things you meant to deal with, papers, old tools, broken trinkets, dead batteries, or even letters you couldn't throw away. Every time you pass that shelf, you may not notice it fully, but your body does. Your eyes glance over it. Your energy shifts slightly. You might even feel a tiny discomfort, an invisible weight, without knowing where it came from. These are the things we forget, and yet they do not forget us. There's a teaching in Zen that says, the path to clarity is not found in what you add, but in what you remove. Sometimes, to be truly free, you don't need to do more. You need to let go of what you no longer need. And often, what holds you back is hidden in plain sight. Behind that door, under that bed, inside that unopened box. Look at the corners of your home, not just with your eyes, but with your heart. What is sitting there? What is collecting dust while quietly collecting emotional weight? It may be something as simple as an old scarf that belonged to someone you've lost, or a photo from a time you no longer wish to remember. It may be gifts you received but never liked, yet you kept them to avoid guilt, or paperwork from a difficult time that you couldn't bring yourself to throw away. These objects hold stories, but stories can become cages when they're not allowed to end. The Buddha taught impermanence, that everything changes. And when we cling to objects from the past, we go against this truth. We keep ourselves stuck. We trap ourselves in an old version of who we were. But life is always moving, always changing. So why hold on to something that no longer fits your journey? You may say it's just a thing, but everything in your home holds a vibration. A broken watch might still tick in your memory. A pair of shoes you never wore may remind you of guilt. A pile of forgotten mail might tell you stories of delay, worry, or stress. These are not just physical items, they are messages. The corners of our home are like the corners of our mind. Often, we place things there we don't want to deal with, but leaving them there does not remove their power. It simply makes their influence quieter, but no less real. Sometimes, peace is not found in what you add to your home, but in what you clear away. As you move through your day, I encourage you to walk slowly through your home. Open the cabinets you haven't looked in for years. Pull out the boxes under your bed. Touch the items you forgot you had. And ask yourself, does this bring me peace? Or what does it bring me weight? If it brings peace, keep it with care. If it brings pain, honor it, then let it go. Letting go is not an act of loss. It is an act of freedom. It is a way of saying, I no longer carry what I no longer need. I no longer serve what does not serve me. This is not selfish. This is self-respect. This is wisdom. You may find yourself hesitating. But what if I need it someday? Or this was a gift? These are common thoughts. But remember, Holding on to something because of fear or guilt is a chain, not a choice. In your home should never be a prison made of objects. You do not have to clear everything at once. Start small. One drawer, one box, one shelf. Slowly, as the physical space clears, your mind will follow. You will feel lighter. You will breathe deeper. You will think more clearly. And this is the beginning of real transformation. When you remove what is hidden, forgotten, and heavy, you make room for clarity, for new energy, and for calm. And that, dear one, is the true purpose of home. Not to hold the past, but to nurture the present. So today, look with new eyes. Not just around you, but within you. Ask, what have I left in the corners of my life? And am I ready, finally, to let go? You will be surprised how much peace can be found in what you no longer carry. Imagine, for a moment, the house you live in is not just a place, but a living story. It holds memories, feelings, and energies from all who came before you. This story is written not only in your heart, but in the objects you keep, things passed down from parents, grandparents, and even ancestors you never met. These objects carry more than dust and time. They carry the weight of many lives, many choices, many sufferings. In Buddhism, we understand that karma is not just what you do today. Karma is the ripples of actions, thoughts, and emotions stretching through generations. When we keep certain items that belong to family members, we may unknowingly carry their karma, their struggles, their pain, their fears right into our own lives. Consider this carefully. A family heirloom, an old piece of furniture, a worn-out photograph, or even a certain decoration that has been in your home for decades. You may think of these things as precious, sacred, or just part of tradition, and they are important. But if these items are tied to suffering, perhaps a history of conflict, loss, or regret, then they also carry that heavy energy. By holding on to them without awareness, you may be inviting old troubles to linger in your present moment. I have seen many seekers come to me, burdened not just by their own pain, but by the silent weight of inherited sorrow. They look at their homes and wonder why peace eludes them. They may have everything they need, yet something feels unsettled. The answer often lies not in what they add to their lives, but what they continue to keep from the past. This is not to say you must throw away your family's history. No, that history is part of your roots, your foundation. But wisdom tells us that not everything from the past should remain in the present space where you live and breathe. Some things, when held too tightly, become chains rather than treasures. Think of karma like a river flowing through time. The actions of those before you have shaped its course. When you keep objects tied to those actions, you create dams and pools where water stagnates. The flow of peace, joy, and clarity becomes blocked. Your home, meant to be a sanctuary, feels heavy. Your mind, meant to be clear, feels clouded. Let me share a simple example. Imagine a worn-out chair handed down through generations. It was the chair where a family member sat during hard times, filled with worry and sadness. The chair has absorbed those emotions like a sponge. Every time you sit on it, even without knowing, you might feel that heaviness. Your body and mind remember what the chair carries. It is a silent transmission of old burdens. This is the teaching of impermanence and non-attachment in action. The chair is not you. The sorrow that once filled the chair is not yours to keep forever. When you recognize this, you can begin to make space for your own peace. You can choose to release the chair or to transform its meaning in your life. Perhaps you restore it with new purpose or place it where it no longer dominates your living space. Inherited karma also comes through stories attached to objects. A necklace from a grandmother may carry stories of loss, survival, or sacrifice. These stories are powerful and shape your sense of self. Yet, if they cause pain or confusion, they need gentle examination. Ask yourself, does holding this necklace bring me peace? Or does it bind me to old wounds? In your heart, you may feel a deep respect for these items. Buddhism honors respect and gratitude. But respect does not mean clinging. True respect is like a bow. It acknowledges what came before without holding on too tightly. When you begin to see the energy of inherited karma in your home, you start a quiet healing. This healing does not happen overnight. It is a slow unfolding, like a flower opening to the morning sun. You may feel sadness or discomfort as you face these truths, and that is natural. Do not rush or judge yourself. Simply observe with kindness. Ask yourself, which family objects do I keep out of habit or obligation, and which do I keep because they truly nourish my spirit? Which items fill my home with light, and which weigh it down? This reflection is a practice of mindfulness, a practice the Buddha taught again and again. As you cultivate this awareness, you create a clearer space, not only in your home, but in your mind. This space invites new energy, fresh possibilities, and gentle freedom. You can welcome what is good and let go of what no longer serves you. Sometimes, letting go means passing items to others, donating them, or placing them in nature where they can return to the earth. Other times, it means storing them away with respect so they do not block your daily peace. The key is conscious choice. Remember, your home is your refuge, a place to nurture your spirit. The objects you keep should support this refuge, not break it down. By seeing the invisible karma held in family items, you take the first step toward liberating yourself from old cycles. In the quiet moments, look around your home. What stories do your things tell? Do they whisper peace or murmur old pain? You have the power to change the story. In this change, you're not forgetting your family or their lives. You are honoring them by living fully in this moment, free from the weight of old suffering. This is the true gift you can offer to those who came before you, and to yourself. The Buddha taught us that all things are connected, but also that we can awaken from the chains of past karma through awareness and letting go. By applying this wisdom to the objects in your home, you open the door to a lighter, brighter life. Take your time, move gently through this process. With patience and care, you will find your home becoming a place of peace once more. A place where your spirit can breathe freely, and where the legacy you carry is one of love, not burden. When we think about our homes, often what we see are just walls, furniture, and objects. But a wise person sees more. The home is not just a place of shelter. It is a living space filled with the energy of all our experiences, hopes, and memories. Among these, there are things that carry unfinished business. These are not always visible to the eye, but their presence can be felt deep within the heart and mind. Unfinished business. What does this mean? It means those moments in life when we stopped halfway, when tasks remained incomplete, or feelings were left unspoken. These unfinished stories live in the corners of our homes as well as in the corners of our minds. They cling quietly to objects, to spaces, and to us. Imagine a painting that is left only half done. It hangs on the wall, not complete, and somehow it draws your eye again and again. Your mind lingers on it because it demands closure. This is much like unfinished projects or emotional weight stored in our living spaces. These things remind us of what we did not finish, what we did not heal. Buddhism teaches us the importance of letting go. But before we let go, we must understand what binds us. Unfinished business is a subtle chain. It keeps the mind restless. It pulls our energy away from the present moment and traps it in what could have been or should have been. In our homes, unfinished projects or items connected to unresolved emotions become anchors of stress. A broken chair never fixed, a stack of books never read, a letter never sent. These things are not just clutter, they're small weights dragging us down. When you hold on to these things, you hold on to a story that is no longer serving you. It is like carrying a bag full of stones while walking a long journey. Each stone represents a task left undone, a conversation left hanging, a feeling left unsaid. The bag becomes heavier and heavier, and you grow tired. But the path of wisdom shows us a different way. It invites us to gently lay down these stones, not in anger or haste, but with mindfulness and kindness. When you look around your home and see what is unfinished, you have a choice: to continue carrying the weight or to make peace with it. Peace is not about perfection. It is about acceptance and release. It is about seeing clearly what no longer helps your heart breathe freely. It is about creating space for new energy to enter. When you choose to finish or release the unfinished, your home becomes lighter, and so does your mind. There is great power in completion. When you finally fix the broken chair, you do more than repair wood and nails. You mend a part of your spirit. When you read the book you started years ago, you nurture your curiosity and joy. When you write that letter or let go of it, you free your heart from regret. Sometimes, the best way to release unfinished business is to forgive yourself. We all carry regrets and tasks left undone, and we all feel the pull of what we wish was different. Forgiveness clears the fog that unfinished things create. It clears the path so you can walk forward with lightness. Remember, in Buddhism, the present moment is all we truly have. Unfinished business keeps us tied to the past or worried about the future. By bringing awareness to these unfinished things, we invite ourselves back into the now. Your home is a reflection of your mind. When your home holds unfinished energy, your mind will feel restless. When your home is clear, your mind can rest. When your mind rests, peace grows. It is natural to hesitate when facing what is unfinished. There can be fear of change, fear of loss, or even fear of success. But fear is a cloud that hides the clear sky. With patience and gentle observation, the cloud slowly passes and clarity appears. Start small. You do not have to complete everything at once. Even a single act, folding a forgotten piece of clothing, organizing a corner left untouched, or simply acknowledging that unfinished feeling, brings healing. This healing is not just about objects or tasks. It is about freeing your spirit from chains you did not even know you carried. It is about making your home a sanctuary where your heart can rest. Letting go is not forgetting. It is understanding. It is seeing the impermanence of all things. What once was important may no longer be so. What once held power over you can be released with compassion. When you release unfinished business, you create space, not just physically, but inside yourself. Space for new joy, new experiences, and new peace. Your home breathes with you, and together you find harmony. Sometimes a simple ritual helps. Light a candle or offer a small prayer before you release something. Speak softly to yourself. I honor what was. I let go with love. I am free. As you practice this, you will notice a shift. The weight lifts. The quiet grows. Your heart smiles. Remember, the journey of release is personal. Do not compare yourself to others. Move at your own pace. Be kind to yourself. Buddha taught that life is change. To resist change is to resist life itself. When we accept change, including the changes in our home and heart, we open the door to peace. Your unfinished business is a teacher. It shows you where your attention is needed. It invites you to grow. Welcome this invitation with open arms. You will find strength in surrender and freedom in completion. May your home be a place where unfinished stories turn into new beginnings. May your mind find rest in the present moment. May your heart be light and your spirit free. When a mind is restless, it often speaks in half-finished thoughts, like a song left without an ending or a path left half-taken. So it is with our homes and the things we leave undone there. Incomplete projects, half-packed boxes, unfinished letters, or plans abandoned before they bloom. These are not just physical clutter. They are echoes of the mind's unrest, quiet burdens that weigh us down in subtle ways. You might think that leaving a chair half-painted or a drawer half-organized is harmless. But each of these small interruptions creates a kind of tension, a tension that does not shout but whispers. It is like a soft shadow that follows you quietly around your home and in your heart. It is the feeling that something is not quite right, something is waiting, and you cannot rest until it is done. Yet, when you avoid these things, the waiting grows heavier. It grows into a weight that presses on your spirit. In Buddhism, the mind is often compared to water. When the water is still, it reflects the world clearly, like a calm lake that shows the sky and trees without distortion. But when the water is disturbed by wind or thrown stones, the reflection breaks, becomes blurry, and you cannot see clearly. Unfinished business is like that stone thrown into the water. It causes ripples, confusion, and cloudiness within. What does it mean to carry unfinished business? It means holding on to moments and tasks that are incomplete. It is the work you started but never finished. The conversation you intended to have but kept postponing. The promise you made to yourself but never fulfilled. Each unfinished thing is like a thread hanging loose, waiting to be tied or cut cleanly. In the quiet moments of your home, these loose threads tug at your attention. They create subtle distractions, small anxieties that keep your mind from settling into peace. This is not just about neatness or order. It is about your inner world reflected in your surroundings. When things are left undone, the mind feels incomplete as well. It cannot find rest because it senses imbalance. Many people carry unfinished projects as trophies of their busy lives. They remind themselves, I am working, I am trying, I am alive. Yet this can become a trap. Instead of freedom, it creates chains. Chains made of guilt, stress, and unfinished intentions. The more you keep these chains in your home, the less space there is for joy, calm, and clarity. Imagine a table covered with half-completed tasks, a notebook left open, pens scattered, a pile of papers waiting to be sorted. Each item seems small, but together they create a storm in the mind. The eyes see chaos, and the heart feels unease. The unfinished work asks silently, will you come back to me? Will you finish me? Or will you leave me to grow old in neglect? The Zen teaching reminds us, simplicity is not only about having less, but about harmony between what you keep and who you are. To find this harmony, sometimes you must look closely at what is not finished and ask yourself, does this still serve me? Does it bring peace, or does it bring unrest? If an unfinished project still carries meaning, if it holds the possibility of growth or healing, then embrace it with mindfulness. Bring your full attention to it. Dedicate a small moment each day to care for it, to gently move it toward completion or peaceful letting go. But if it only weighs you down, if it lives as a shadow of past stress, it may be time to release it. Releasing does not mean failure or giving up. It means acceptance. Acceptance of what is. The Buddha taught about impermanence, how all things change and nothing is fixed forever. Unfinished projects, like all things, are impermanent. They arise, they exist, and they pass away. To cling to them is to deny the natural flow of life. When you let go of unfinished business, you open space in your home, in your heart. This space is not empty, it is alive. It invites fresh energy, new beginnings, and calm clarity. Your home becomes a mirror of your mind's peace. Often, people fear letting go because unfinished work feels like a part of their identity. I'm the person who never finished that, they think. But true peace comes when you see that your worth is not tied to what you complete or abandon. It lies in your presence, your awareness, and your willingness to live fully now. Look around your home. What small task or project quietly waits for your attention? What emotional weight do you carry in the form of these things? Notice how these unfinished pieces make you feel. Is there anxiety, restlessness, or perhaps a dull ache of guilt? Now imagine inviting these feelings into your awareness, not to fight them or bury them, but to gently understand them. This is the path of mindfulness. It is the way to transform unfinished business from a source of stress into a doorway of insight. With each small act of completion, whether it is organizing a drawer, finishing a letter, or simply deciding to release what no longer serves, you take a step toward freedom. You teach your mind to rest, to be patient, and to accept what is. This is not a race. It is a gentle unfolding, like a flower blooming in its own time. You do not have to complete everything at once. Even the smallest action matters because it shifts the energy in your home and mind. As you practice this, you may find that your home feels lighter. The air seems clearer. Your thoughts slow down and your heart softens. You create a sanctuary where your spirit can rest. Remember, Your home is a reflection of your inner state. When you clear unfinished business, you clear the path to your own peace. You invite harmony to live with you. So be kind to yourself. Embrace patience. Know that letting go is a form of love for yourself and for the space you live in. In this way, your home becomes more than a place. It becomes a refuge, a temple of peace where the mind and heart can find rest. Imagine now your home, not just as a place filled with things, but as a space alive with peace. You have walked a long path to reach this moment, learning what to hold and what to gently let go. This is the final step, the moment to transform your home and, with it, your life. The home is a mirror of the mind. When your space is calm and clear, your mind feels the same. The last lesson is not about things. It is about freedom. Freedom from what no longer serves you. When you release old burdens, you make room for new light to enter. You create space where joy can grow quietly, without noise or struggle. Your home becomes a sanctuary, a true refuge from the storms of the world outside. In the teachings of the Buddha, everything is impermanent. This means nothing stays the same. What you have today, you'll not have tomorrow. Clinging to objects, memories, or pain only traps your heart. But when you understand impermanence, you begin to see that letting go is not loss, but gain. It is a gift you give yourself. The objects you keep can carry invisible weight, pain, regret, fear. When you open your hands and let them go, your heart becomes lighter. This does not mean you forget the past. It means you honor it without letting it chain you. In this way, your home supports your peace instead of stealing it. Now, as you stand in your home, look around with new eyes. What things call you to release? What spaces feel tight and closed? Begin there. One small step is enough. The Zen way teaches us that every journey begins with a single breath and a single step. Feel the air in your home. Is it still or flowing? Is it easy to breathe? When you clear away what no longer serves, energy moves freely. This is like the breath of the earth, moving gently through the trees. When your home breathes well, so do you. Imagine your home as a garden. If the soil is heavy with stones and weeds, the flowers cannot bloom. But if you clear the earth and plant with care, life returns. Your home is your garden. Clear the stones. Pull the weeds. Plant peace. Remember, too, that what you bring into your home shapes its spirit. Choose objects that uplift you, that inspire calm and gratitude. Even a single flower or a small candle can remind you of the present moment, the here and now, where true peace lives. This is the heart of transformation. It is not about possessions, but presence. When you are present, fully here, your home becomes a place where your spirit can rest. This rest is the deepest happiness beyond words. If fear arises when you think about letting go, know that this is normal. The mind resists change, but change is the path of life. The Buddha said to welcome change like a dear friend, because through change we awaken. You are not alone on this path. Countless others have walked before you and found joy in simplicity. Their footsteps remind us that the true treasures in life are not things, but moments, connections, and the peace within. As you close this journey, take a deep breath and bow to your home, your sacred space. Bow to yourself for your courage to grow and change. And bow to the wisdom that guides you still. Before this video ends, I invite you once more to connect with this simple truth. Peace begins at home, and home begins within. Let your actions reflect this. Let your home be your teacher, your friend, your refuge. If this journey has touched your heart, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support spreads this peaceful wisdom to many others. And before you leave, please drop your thoughts below in the comments. Share your own steps toward peace. To help us all stay grounded and positive, write Namo Buddhaya in the comments as a gentle reminder to honor the light inside. Let this be your final gift to yourself today. The courage to let go, the space to grow, and the peace that always waits inside you. May your home be a sanctuary of calm. May your heart be free. May your life be full of simple joy. Namo Buddhaya.